Yeah.
Bad code push could bring down whole Facebook.
Yeah.
Or even bring down whole internet. Average user spends 140 minutes using AI.
Especially if there is no video.
We think storytelling will continue to be human endeavor. AI it will be AI assisted. So we are building something called Copilot for writers. Engineers generally are bad at naming, I guess.
What kind of tech nightmares come with sort of having to handle completely different consumers? AI hype and AI reality that you are living. Today's guest is genuinely rare. 20 years in engineering, starting from a fresher at SLK Software, moving through Sun Microsystems, Akamai, Oyo, building an academy engineering team, and now sitting at the top of Pocket FM Tech as CTO. But here is what I find most fascinating. This is a man who went from writing code to now making AI write stories for millions of people. Umesh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So 2004, fresh out of NIT Karnataka. Do we still call it NIT Karnataka?
I think when I joined, it was KREC, then it became NIT.
Right, cool. First job at SLK. And 2025, CTO of Pocket Entertainment. Fill that gap for me. What was the exact time when you sort of realized you didn't want to just write code? You wanted to build things.
As you can imagine, 25 more than 2 decades, right? It's a long journey. So I don't think there was a moment as such. It was a mix of multiple things. Some part of it was just gradual progression.
Yeah.
But looking back, I think there are 2 key milestones where I moved to the leadership position. One was till I was in Sun Microsystems, until I was at Akamai.
Yeah.
Obviously, I loved writing code. I loved building stuff. And I thought that is the path I want to pursue. But one of my managers, he said, no, you'll do really good in leadership positions.
Yeah.
And it was his conviction, not mine. But that was a good lesson for me also, looking back. So that was one milestone, which is moving from individual contributor to the leadership role. Second was more conscious decision. When I moved from Akamai into the startup space, Oyo, An Academy and Pocket FM, I was growing kind of frustrated with this hierarchy and career ladders. And I thought that's not the game I want to spend next 5-10 years playing.
Okay.
So that was extremely conscious decision, and then I moved to startups.
And you stayed at Akamai for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's rare. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah.
In tech, median time to job hop is 18 months. No?
Yeah.
What kept you there? Like, was it comfort, growth, or something deeper?
I wish I could say something deeper, but there are 2 parts. I think first 5 years, if I can roughly break into, right? There are 2 phases. First 5 years, it was genuine, both learning and growing as learning and growing. As you know, Akamai delivers almost 30% of internet traffic.
Yeah.
So it's massive scale, petabytes of data. Millions of servers. That is a scale. It's a engineer's delight to work on those kind of problems. And I really enjoyed every bit of it. But later 5 years, I don't think it was. I think that growth and learning had stopped.
Okay.
But what had happened is I had built like great set of friends and community. And that was extremely comfortable. And that kept me for next 5 years. when I completed 10 years, I moved on exactly the day I completed 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I kicked myself out from there because I realized if I continue here, I may end up retiring. And and looking back, I feel those later 5 years is something I shouldn't have done. That's where from there on, I tell that to myself and anybody I talk to. There are only two parameters, whether you should continue working in an organization or not.
Yeah.
One, are you learning and growing? And second, are you making big enough impact?
Yeah. Okay.
If answer to both of them is no, you should just move out. With one of them you can stay for some time, but if answer to both of them, you shouldn't continue.
I want to pick on that comfort. Does that mean now as a engineering leader, you want people to now work from office so that they can make friends and delay their exit decisions just in case they have hit a wall?
I like actually that it's not just for individual. I don't think it's good even for the organization.
Okay.
If somebody is around just for the comfort, because organization is after all made up of people, right?
Yeah.
If you have lot of such people, then organization also stops growing, stops innovating. So it is a dangerous cycle. And you'll see a lot of big organizations get into that space, where even a lot of senior folks are extremely comfortable. So I think most of the leaders would say, and even I agree, there has to be that little bit of discomfort every day you come to work. If you feel comfortable 5 days a week, something is wrong.
Something is off. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you also worked with Oyo Vacation Homes. You were CTO for a year, and then you left.
Yeah.
The guy who stayed at Akamai for a decade walked out of this one in 12 months. What actually happened there? I don't want the LinkedIn version. Tell me what.
Yeah. Obviously, there can't be any LinkedIn version of this. As I mentioned earlier, it was extremely conscious decision that, I'm way too comfortable. Let me push to the other extreme. What can make me most uncomfortable? I moved from, say, US-based large tech B2B to Indian fast-growing B2C company.
Yes.
Like
stark opposite.
Stark opposite. That also meant it was extremely uncomfortable time for me, and I now I think I am comfortable enough to acknowledge that it was a disastrous sprint, disastrous time for me. I didn't do well at all during that 1 year. But looking back, I feel that was one of the phase I learned the most. Or if I put it correctly, unlearned the most. It was not so much about time that you have to spend in the office, etc. I think those are much easier to adopt to. The challenges were you develop some deep convictions over time, especially like 10 years, you can imagine, whatever made you successful, you feel those are the ones
that's the only way
that's the only way to do it. And those could be absolutely wrong, not just in a different setup. Just to give example, at Akamai, cost of mistake is so high. Bad code push could bring down whole Facebook, or even bring down whole internet. So you are extremely cautious. Whereas in startup, the value is in the pace, not in the perfection, right? Even other things like in larger tech organizations, alignment is very important. Is everybody behind the vision that you have? But in startup, it's way more important to just get things done. even if there are few folks who disagree, you disagree and commit and move on. So a lot of those deep-rooted convictions, I had to literally peel them off and unlearn.
OS stint was useful that way for you.
Yeah. Extremely uncomfortable, very difficult. I didn't add much value, but for me, it really helped my next stints.
Did your tech stack and other than just, let's say, this cost of mistakes and alignment, did your tech stack also change significantly between the two companies?
No, I don't think that was such a big challenge. Rather, that was much easier problem, because the scale and complexity that I had handled before,
this was easier.
This was just cakewalk. But it was the other parts that were way more complex and difficult, because where I was coming from.
Correct. Cool. Okay, let's talk about your Unacademy chapter. You joined middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Edtech was like on a rocket ship of some kind. Every other day, some unicorn, Edtech unicorn was being born. Users were coming in millions. Everybody is but at home, so they could not go to classes anyway. And then the correction happened.
Yeah.
You were at the center of all of this.
Yeah.
What did the high feel like, and what did the crash feel like from where you were sitting?
Obviously, high was a lot of fun, especially if you love building. They're very interesting problems, right? I think we were building some of the most innovative learning products that were built online. So we built first of its kind online learning experience where thousands of learners can participate. A single educator can teach thousands of learners online.
This was also using WebRTC, or did you move to HLS kind of delivery for that?
No, HLS, even the best tech, you have 5-second delay. So the challenge there is things like interactions don't work because of. So we had to build WebRTC at that scale. As you can imagine, that's way more complex than HLS is much easier to scale. So we were building some of those experiences and scaling them simultaneously. So cool. that was really fun experience for engineer who loves building. So that high was, and it also felt very meaningful because being it in education, you are helping educators, students, learners during the phase where they're stuck at home. Was very useful. Also, we are solving some unique problems, which is online learning. It's not so much about course and content. It's also the challenge of motivation. In physical one-to-one learning, motivation comes by default, or at least large part is solved because somebody's there is a human interaction.
Osmosis.
Yeah, but in case of online learning, motivation is the most difficult things to achieve. So we're trying a lot of gamification around that, and we're having some successes. So those were fun times. Crash, while from outside it looked like a crash, unfortunately inside it didn't feel like a sudden crash. As COVID ended, sometime being insider is also a problem. We felt some of the behaviors of online learning will stick. But unfortunately, it did not. Everybody just rushed to offline as soon as they could. In the PG, like post-graduation PGC programs, I think the behavior has stuck a little bit. Like people who are preparing for, say, GATE or PG courses and things like that. But in UGC segment, absolutely everything went back to exactly where it was.
Is the cost of travel being important for PG students, or what is the?
No, like for them, it's also mixed, right? A lot of them are working. They are also doing some other things. So for them, online education, convenience of online education still adds value. Whereas UGC students are absolutely focused on, if somebody is preparing for JEE or NEET, That's the only thing they're doing.
Got it.
So even if they are getting, say, 10% better chance, they would like to go and sit in the classroom.
Makes
So, and coming back to the crash part, right? So when we were started seeing the lows, we felt each low felt like the floor, and we thought things will improve from here. But it wasn't the case. It just kept going down further and further. And I think that was till the time we realized that actually that whatever we were expecting did not happen, which is that behavior sticking.
Behavior did not stick. Okay.
Yeah.
And internally, this is just every month it's lower than last month,
Yes.
every month lower than
Yes.
last month.
Yeah.
Until you compare with last year and say, oh, there is a crash. Let me say, on Unacademy side, it was a gradual decline. Did you find out from outside world that, oh, there's a serious problem? Or did it come from your own business metrics reviews and stuff like that?
It was interesting, actually. As I said, right, sometimes there is a disadvantage, and it's a human tendency also that you don't want to believe something is that bad. So outside, as soon as COVID got over, like everybody said, no, edutech was dead.
A bubble,
And it is dead. And we were, no, it is not dead. Like,
you had your own conviction.
We will make it work, right? But over the time, we realize. I still think edutech that way is not dead, right? I think some other players did well. So it was also what kind of problems and what kind of approaches different edutechs took. But surely one thing that now everybody agrees and it's visible is size of the edutech market. I think that is much smaller than everybody thought during
online
COVID.
education market itself. But that's for just preparations, the size of, if I can still use the word, continued education still remains, or is that also in question?
No,
the PG ones that you're talking about, people in jobs learning.
Yeah, it's not in question, just the size and the growth rate. That is, if you look at Chinese edutech, and even their government ended up killing it. It's huge, hundreds of billions of dollars. And everybody thought, because in terms of priorities, India and China are like family priorities. India and China are very similar.
Very similar,
like education plays a huge role. Like some of the biggest expenses or tickets for any family in India is education.
For sure.
So the reference was China market. That our edutech will be at least 20% of proportionate economy size, but that hasn't turned
which is surprising. In most cases, I've seen India following China like 3 to 5 years behind max. The story played out in e-commerce, even in OTT industry. So Edtech was a surprise for me there.
There are multiple. I think that even though some of the practices, some players gave it bad name. I think a lot of those things also may have played a role, not just whether there is a opportunity or not.
So there is a hope for you going back to Edtech again?
I think at least the segment always excites me. But the challenge is building a viable business. Rather, you ask any techie or anybody for that matter. I think education is close to heart for many people.
For sure, everybody thinks education is broken. If we are doing something,
it is meaningful.
Meaningful.
But the challenge is, how do you make business out of it? Which is adding value to the students and learners and educators' lives, and at the same time, it is a viable, sustainable business. I think that building that bridge and solving that problem is a challenge.
I still hope that it'll happen. I have very high expectations from and hopes from Edtech industry. I'm equally biased like you. All right, I'll stick to another one for an academy. Give me a specific decision that you made an academy that you look back and think, I got that one wrong.
Yeah. What I was mentioning earlier, right? I think it extends to the same thing. We were focused a lot on building best learning experience, solving for motivation, building some of the first in class experiences for students, educators, etc. But one big problem we, and even I'm part of that, which is we didn't focus enough, was cost of acquisition, customer acquisition, and that in edutech is a very important metric. Because most of the time it's a single transaction. Your students come on the platform, most likely they do one transaction for one course, etc., and move on. So unless you are able to generate profit out of that, you are never going to be profitable business.
That single transaction is the lifetime value.
Yes. Yeah. So first transaction is your LTV. So unless you solve your CAC, you don't have a business. And somehow we didn't focus on that enough. And instead we were focused on the building best possible product.
But isn't that true for a whole lot of startups where initially you invest in growth at the cost of profitability, and then you get to a place where your variables are under control and you have a relatively small fixed cost, and then as you scale, just the variable part needs to be slightly smaller than the expense should be smaller than the income.
Yeah, that's true. If you have multiple transaction or retention business, so over the time, existing users will, if not for 12 months, 16 months, 18 months, your payback could be longer if you build a great product. But in education, is especially test prep, the payback is, as we were discussing earlier, it's a single transaction. So unless your CAC is much lower than the first transaction value, it's always going to be a challenge.
Or you build a business that says test prep, then college, and then job.
I think some other players are trying to do that now. Like, if can you keep the users on the platform for longer? But we're yet to see that happening. Like how long you can keep them on the platform, because what ends up happening is you come on the platform, take a course or something, and you exit out of that. You may when you'll come back again, or if at all you'll come back again, is a question.
Correct. Once you get a job, you're not probably motivated enough to do the same grind again.
And also things may change a lot for them, like that what they want to do, etc.
Cool. That brings me to the LTV business, Pocket FM. Pocket FM essentially is trying to build, and I can use that word, Hotstar of audio. Maybe it's Netflix for audio for rest of the world. But audio storytelling plus tech is uniquely complex. It's like video has been done longer in a way, right? And your customer, who is like somebody who's on a 1 hour, 45 minutes commute, maybe Bluetooth earphones, AirPods, and immersed in a story. How does that context, which is completely different from what you did with Oyo, what you did, of course, completely different from Akamai, how does that context change? How your engineering, so product decisions seem obvious. But how do the engineering decisions change? You explained how you had to do the whole WebRTC for thousands of people that scale. What is the engineering challenge with this context?
It's a very interesting problem, right? And you went to the crux of it. Video at face of it seems harder just because of the data consumption is obviously much higher in video compared to audio. But in audio, and especially long form content, and our average user spends 140 minutes on the platform.
That's per day, per week, per month?
Per day.
Oh, I was wrong in saying 45 minutes,
yeah,
140
minutes.
140 minutes.
Yeah, so that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And some of the binge users do way more than that. And it's mostly passive consumption. So that during that 140 minutes, they may pass through 2 tunnels, few lifts, low network areas, and all of that. Yet they would want to have seamless listening experience.
Yeah, they should not
immersive experience. And that's where the challenge comes in for platform like ours. So for us, it's very important to solve for the inconsistency of network. And few of the problems and solutions we have solved quite successfully are like adaptive bit rates. How do we, based on the network bandwidth availability, how do we play with the data transfers, etc. Second thing that has given us great win has been predictive caching.
Cool.
If you can predict what end user is going to listen next and proactively cache that on the device, those like your rebuffer rates, click to play, error rates, all of them drop. So those two have been the biggest impact items. And obviously we have to keep playing with latest codecs, etc. Like how do you deliver best quality audio in the lowest of bandwidth and data.
So when you were elevated to CTO, you said something, AI should not just be an enabler, it should be a storyteller in its own right. That's a great line. Cut through it and for me, and what does that actually mean on the ground? Give me an example, real example.
See, AI does a lot of things really, really well, right? I think now we know everything. It does amazingly well. However, storytelling continues to be a complex problem, especially with AI. So I'll talk about few scenarios, right, where it becomes challenging solving storytelling using AI. First is the narrative or narration of the story itself is not simple text to speech. In story, the modulation, those pauses, all those matter way more than any other text to speech problem.
Especially if there is no video.
Yeah, there is no video in this case, right? It's purely audio. If you want to make them engaging enough, if you can remember the best story somebody has told you, there is lot more than the just the story. How it was narrated was way more important. So if you're using AI for that, it has to be really great at narrating the story. And that's where stories become like impactful or meaningful.
So the story text generation is relatively easy.
I'm coming to that. I just spoke about one part, right? Let me take another thing. Now you since you mentioned writing part, what we do is we think storytelling will continue to be human endeavor. AI will it will be AI assisted journey, and it's a hard problem to solve when hard collaboration problem to solve, which is can you get have somebody who has like a great story or great idea, and with the help of AI can they build a story that will work for millions of users. So we are building something called Copilot for writers.
I wish we start calling it Copilot. I have like 20 Copilots in my company.
Yeah, I wish even. By the way, we are renaming it. We are calling it Sherpa now.
Okay, cool. That works.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think engineers generally are bad at naming, I guess. So they end up doing that. So that's a very complex problem, especially if you're. It's a long form stories. Like our stories are typically 200, 300 hour long.
Yeah.
So AI needs to keep the map of all the entities, names, locations, bring that consistency, narrative graph, all of that it has to maintain to make sure the story sticks. Same with the adaptation part. We use AI a lot in story adaptation.
Okay.
Generally, stories are universal, but they have to be extremely contextual. Take example of Othello to Omkara, our own Indian.
I was reading about that hero's journey, which can be kind of replicated on so many different stories and movies and books.
Yeah, just that for it to connect, it has to be contextual. End users should feel it's a story for them, not some distant story. And for we use AI for adaptation, as I mentioned, and for adaptation to work, it can't just translate the story. It has to deeply adapt to the context, and that goes goes beyond names, food they eat, locations, etc. It also needs to understand the cultural nuances.
That is correct. Yeah.
So you have to solve all of that. Only then AI can meaningfully be used in storytelling.
Correct. And what about background score? How does that? Are you trying to use AI for that too? Because that itself can elevate a story a lot.
Yeah, we are experimenting with multiple things. Obviously, immersive form of storytelling it works really well.
Yeah.
So background score, sound, even single voice versus multiple voices. Those are like multiple things we are experimenting to figure out what works. Like we may think that more immersive or multiple voices may work. That's not necessarily true as well.
Okay.
Some interesting
learning.
Cause
distraction.
Yeah, some of the learning we had was because our stories are really long.
Yeah.
They can't be difficult to get it.
Okay.
They need to be very easy to consume.
So in a way, this is not your user's primary focus. They're doing something else.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to be necessarily.
Yeah. Having said that, I'm not saying that won't work, but we are figuring out the combinations. It's not as simple as that. Oh, you make it more immersive and it's better. We have to strike the right balance.
Maybe I can choose if I'm in immersive mode or I'm in passive mode.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So one part of your brain is thinking about this whole how do I use AI to tell better stories and I don't know what's the equivalent of screenplay in voice stories. What is it called?
I don't think there is any term as such. Like we have.
But you have to still sort of take a story, create it into how do you organize the story and how do you narrate the story. Sometimes you add a narrator, sometimes you don't have a narrator.
No, in our case, it's always audio. So
there's always a narrator.
Yeah.
Okay. All the characters are introduced by a narrator then.
No, so that's what I mean. Like it's a story that's generally told by a single voice end to end, and that's what I was talking about: multi-voice versus single voice.
Oh, so there are no dialogues.
Yeah, not necessarily always.
Okay. I listen to a lot of Audible, and I like those productions where there are multiple voice actors trying to narrate a story. It just so happens I only listen to stories where I've already read the books.
Yeah,
but it's very nice.
We are also trying with multiple voiceover artists. That's why I was telling. Like we have to figure out the right balance. If there are say 10 characters in story over 300 hours, and you're consuming that story, it can be overwhelming at times. So you have to figure out maybe one male and one female voice works. Like that works, but not necessarily for every character there is a.
If you have multiple characters, then necessarily you have to also introduce some milestones to say this is the same character.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other part of you is going back to your Akamai world and dealing with delivering all sorts of media over the wire.
Yeah.
And have you ported now Pocket FM? What type of devices have you ported it on?
Oh, it is available on pretty much every form. Like you have mobile, tablets.
Right.
One big use case for us is commute. So Android Auto, CarPlay, automotive OS. Those are big use cases for us.
Okay.
Literally after mobile, it is those devices.
Are you doing some pre-bundling there then?
That both Android Auto and iOS, you don't need to pre-bundle. It connects with your phone. But automotive devices, we are now already are there and or will be there in next 6 to 9 months, bundled into every major
All the best.
Platforms.
Very nice. Okay. And you have not explored living room devices, and the reason I'm asking this is when I hear Audible or when I hear Pocket FM, I go back to these soap opera concept where the reason soap operas became popular were people were doing something else. They were cooking food or they were just doing something, and there was this stuff going on in the background, almost like music, where I could miss a dialogue but I won't miss the whole story. And there it was on TV. And if Pocket FM is not on TV, then maybe that crowd is missing out, but maybe your tablets are covering up for it.
By the way, we are almost there on every platform. I think a few months back we made ourselves available on Alexa as well.
Oh, all right.
You will see more and more.
Alexa still alive, man? I had so much hope from Alexa as soon as LLMs became big.
But it is amongst the home devices, it's still the largest.
But it could be doing so much more.
I agree.
It lost the momentum.
I agree.
Exactly when it should have gotten the momentum.
Even today, I think the biggest use case continues to be playing a particular song.
Playing a song. Or maybe home automation as well. At least we did that a lot earlier. All right, cool. I moved from Hotstar to Netflix as an example because you are going global, you are scaling globally. The Indian listener and American listener, we were discussing earlier, even the genres change. They're fundamentally different people, different culture, habits. What kind of tech nightmares come with sort of having to handle completely different consumers?
For obviously there are multiple challenges, but two are really complex and difficult to deal with, which is the extremes that we have to handle. Indian users have a large part of Indian user base has low-end devices. Typically your 8,000, 10,000 rupees low RAM devices.
What do you call low RAM, man?
Sorry?
What do you call low RAM?
Like low-end devices, right? So those are, however, in India, cost of data is very cheap.
It is,
So network fluctuations are very high. So that is one extreme we have to deal with. Whereas in the West, devices tend to be much more superior, powerful, but the users are extremely sensitive about data consumption because data is very costly. So we have to strike balance between at times we have to strike balance, at times we have to build customized technologies to solve these extremes.
Are you also doing some prefetch only on Wi-Fi?
We have multiple. We have built a lot of intelligence around how much prefetching, how much caching, how much optimizations you need to do on devices.
But the bit rates differ between India and US for the same content?
Actually, for us, good part is because it's audio. the data generally tend to be less only. 92 kbps, etc. is pretty good for us for audio, especially with the latest codecs. They tend to give us like really high quality audio. And we have adaptive bit rates, so that we may, it's based on basically bandwidth or data availability, not so much for the even in India, your Bangalore user who has good network connection, we would want them to have best possible experience.
Perfect. Yeah. But in a way, it's sort of tricky to say the person who does not have good internet needs more buffer to be built so that their experience remains smooth.
Yeah, it's not the choice that we are making beforehand.
Yeah.
It is basically how do we provide or build build a tech that gives seamless experience to the end user based on their device and network connection availability. So that's what we are trying to solve.
Got it.
And going back to your original question, the second part is because we have millions of users distributed globally, our system has to be 24/7.
When do you deploy?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Keep making building 24/7 system is easy, but if you want to do like a large changes, architecture changes, you want to move from say MySQL to Cassandra database or some other database, some major re-architectures when you have to do, those tend to be really hard.
Yeah.
It's almost like heart surgery, like you have to keep the patient alive and change the most critical organ. So you have to continue serving millions of concurrent users, and at the same time in your backend you're completely changing some of the core pieces.
Makes sense. And are you using standard feature flags or canaries to make your engineers' lives easy?
Oh, absolutely. Rather, all our innovation, I almost call ourselves as a test engine. So at any point we are running hundreds of experiments. All of that is possible only if you have like a very strong test platform. And obviously feature flag is one of the components of that.
Cool. And are you sharing this on your blog, or is that a plan?
We have built some of the coolest techs,
and
my founders keep telling we need to talk up more about it. I think only recently our latest recommendation algorithm was able to find we call blockbuster stories that become successful. Like with zero marketing, some of the shows became really big.
Oh, you find a hidden gem. You are not planning for it to be huge.
Yes, and that's with our latest algorithms. Cool. And we need to talk more about some of those.
Definitely. Yeah. No, a lot of people sort of learn from the blogs that companies like you write. It's just that you have to say, hey, do I write more code, build stuff, or do I write this? And I often tell people both have to be done.
We need to improve on the second part for sure.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about AI, especially on the development side, and we already talked about AI for storytelling. So every CTO is talking about it. You are deploying generative AI on real content for real users. So that's, while everybody is using it for coding, you are actually using it for your primary business.
Yes.
In an entertainment context, not just as a back-end tool, right? This is your bread and butter where you're using Gen AI. How big a gap is there between this AI hype and AI reality that you are living? I'm again separating out coding because AI is really good at that. The other part that you are focused on. how do you separate out, and what's the gap between reality and hype? Because not many people know coding is easier for people to sort of judge and experience, but not everybody is storytelling with AI.
Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, but for us, that hype is reality.
That's good.
Obviously, but it's a harder problem to solve. Even I don't think coding is easy problem to solve. Just that the LLMs are built to solve some of them.
Yeah.
So they're built to solve some problems that you can readily use. However, they are not solved for. They're not built for telling long form story.
Yes.
And that's the part we have to solve. Nobody's going to solve for us because that's unique to our business. But the impact we are able to generate, as I was mentioning, through Copilot.
Or Sherpa. I like that.
Sherpa. Yeah, I have to get used to the name change. Sherpa or story adaptations has been huge. In some parts, like adaptation, I think is doing really well.
Okay.
We launched hundreds of stories when we went to Germany. We were able to launch hundreds of adapted stories from day one. If there was a human intervention required, it would have taken like months to adapt so many stories and make so many stories.
I was telling you earlier that that's how I found out that, hey, why am I not talking? Why haven't I invited you here? Because I met your head of Europe business on a flight.
Yeah.
And
so
you could not. Your launch times will be in years because
Absolutely.
if you have to adapt all the content.
Yeah. So for us, while those are complex problems, but we want and are in our thinking AI first organization. So we are trying to solve some of the unique problems that are relevant to our domain ourselves. This is about, like as I mentioned, about Sherpa adaptation. All these problems are unique that we are trying to solve, and even on the back end side, not just coding, but we are seeing we have built something called Argus. It's a insight tool. So it has been very powerful.
If you ask me what Argus does, I would have said insight tool. I have 2 Arguses in my company.
So so it is just by going through comments of users on different episodes, it is able to spot, oh, this particular episode has some issues, and we need to rewrite or redo the voice and things like that.
Very interesting. Okay.
So it is able to do that, which is quite like not impossible to do by an analyst, just that you may not even look for those kind of opportunities. So it is able to not just solve a problem given to it, it is also is able to identify the opportunities, which is slightly difficult thing to do.
And just speaking of that, we already discussed this Argus. Are there other AI features that you shipped and that sort of were genuinely surprising for your customers, your users? Say, oh wow, this is cool. Or one that you shipped and that flopped?
One that has seriously surprised me recently. We built a tool called Sherlock, and as you can
I have Google,
it does.
Every company has 2-3 of Sherlock.
So it does like debugging of infrastructure, etc. So initially
that's not Sherlock's.ai. We hosted them.
No, it's our own in-house tool. We built initially to solve just the infrastructure alerts, etc. But since we have connected it to our code base, our logging, our AWS account and infrastructure, everything, it is able to do a lot more than we expected it to do. It is even able to patch if you just report a bug, it is able to identify the root cause, it is able to find a solution, it is able to generate the PR. And I'm not saying a structured bug. Some users comment saying, oh, I'm seeing something like this on the screen. It is able to do all that.
Very cool.
While intention was to build something like that, we were pleasantly surprised how capable it has become.
Are you building some RLs on existing foundational models, or largely building harness around public frontier models?
Yeah, when it comes to the technology side, as you can imagine, LLMs are becoming really good at solving those problems. So it is mostly about building the right context, building right agents, also drawing the boundaries of what each agent should do. How should those agents interact with each other to solve a problem end to end? Those are the kind of things we are doing. Capability wise, LLMs are very, very powerful. I think last 3-4 months or 6 months they have been revolutionary.
I have been saying it every 6 months now.
Yeah, maybe 6 months later we may say, look, now they are 10x better.
Last 3-6 months
we have been crazy. So that's what we are doing in that space. But when it comes to storytelling, their LLMs don't really work. As I was saying, take example of Sherpa. So you need to over 300 it will hallucinate. So we need to maintain object entity map, which can keep track of all the characters, locations, the graph they go through, etc. It also needs to understand the cultural nuances. It also needs to understand some of the foundational things that make stories great. How do you start the story? How, like, each episode needs to end at a cliffhanger. Some of those nuances are very unique to our domain.
Correct.
So while we use LLMs, there are multiple layers of intelligence that we have built in house to make them effective in storytelling.
Good. Let's look at LLMs or GenAI for engineering. How has the role of an engineer changed, and how is it changing, and what are you doing about it?
Wow, as you can imagine, right? The answer to that question literally changes every 2 or 3 months, or maybe even faster.
Yeah.
If you had asked me that 6 months back, 3 months back, and today, and I'm sure the answer will be different a couple of months later.
Are you on prompt engineering, spec driven, or skills? Which era are you?
Yeah, so last 2 months I have around 200 engineers. Not even a single line of code is written by engineer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that's the stage we are in, right? Every line of code is AI generated. Bulk of the time today engineers spend on our context building, making code AI friendly, like service segregation, so that service boundaries are very well defined. Figuring out the test strategy, because while you can develop very rapidly, how do we make sure we are able to ship that reliably? Earlier, if you see product development or software development life cycle, coding used to be the longest pole. That has suddenly shrunk.
It has gone to near zero.
So that also means for it to translate into real gain in the productivity, all other stages have to also be solved. How do you do product ideation? How do you do design? How do you generate UX from the design? How do you writing code, as we discussed, is now become pretty straightforward. Then how do you test, and how do you reliably deploy? And for us, while we can say ship out hundreds of experiments, can we really test those many? Because you're lot of one is
at your scale you can run micro experiments, no?
How many is the question? we have serious hunger. We are seriously hungry when it comes to number of things we want to test, because our domain is very unique, and what we're trying to solve is nobody else has done it. Long form storytelling is not, there is no other parallel. So what works and what doesn't work, nobody knows. So we have to run a lot of experiments to figure that out. And that's where some of the other limitations come in.
Very interesting. in next 3-4 months, how do you think your engineers' lives and roles would change? And beyond that, you can do some future gazing for sure.
Yeah, the challenge so much is not our imagination, right? Because LLMs have become very powerful already.
Yeah,
They can do a lot more than anybody's actually utilizing them for. The limitation has been how quickly engineers can adopt to that. That is the difficulty part. So while you can have newer and better models releasing every month, can engineers adopt at that rate is the challenge. So the 3 months, I'm not sure whether there is going to be a drastic change in how engineers will operate because of the limitation of adaptation. The second part is there is still we are keeping human in the loop.
Yeah.
Right, at every stage.
Correct.
So as long as there is human in the loop, even though the technology grows or technology improves a lot, there is a cognitive limitation that an engineer or person can do.
Oh, your bottleneck is on reviews today.
Not just reviews, right? Even for an engineer to understand product requirement, think about it. If you are expecting the engineer to review the code, he or she still has to understand every aspect of
That's
it.
correct, yes.
You can't blindly trust. So as long as there is human in the loop, that cognitive limitation, like you can't expect engineer to say today start reading 10 PRDs, think of 10 design for 10 PRDs and able to review 10 different PRs.
Until Neuralink shows up? Or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The limitation is going to be human in the loop. So unless AI becomes so good, where human in the loop does not need to be there, then you will see an exponential growth. But from there on, there is no going back.
Yeah.
Once you hand it over to AI to write code, even if engineer hasn't seen for a couple of days, they will not be able to go back and fix that code.
Oh yeah, you can't read all that code.
Yeah, thousands of lines of code. That can become millions of lines of code. It's almost impossible. So as a just closing on that point, I think the human in the loop is still going to be limitation. Just the cognitive ability, how much you can expect an engineer to just grasp on day-to-day basis. There is a limitation to that.
Got it. We are joking that most managers have been vibe coding for years now. We tell our team that, hey, do this, and then they do this, and we check, oh, this doesn't seem to be working, or this is not what I expected. We do something similar with LLMs.
Yeah.
But we are not reviewing that code as managers.
Yeah.
This first-time managers, whether they have to learn to let go.
Yeah.
Is that not the change that you would want your teams to do, or you're not there yet in your conviction on AI?
It's not so much about the conviction. The question is, moment I say you are the question is more in principle, right? Do you still want the engineer to be author and accountable for that feature or not? The code that is going in or not?
Yeah.
Moment you say he or she is not, if there is a production bug that goes out. So for POCs and if you want to build prototype where cost of mistake is hardly anything, or you can say scrap it and just rebuild again with another prompt.
Things that you can one shot, you're okay.
Yeah, but if you're talking about a production system where the cost of mistake or the failure is high, you still want engineer to own it and being author of that code.
Yeah.
Right. So that part is still there.
Cool.
And why us? Like even the LLM companies themselves have not handed over the control yet, right?
To some extent.
Yeah. If the moment they do it, I think we should also feel comfortable doing it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, but that's not the change I think is impossible. That's going to come anyway.
It will happen. We don't know how fast.
Yes.
He'll be limited by maybe how fast we let go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's talk, since we are talking about how managers vibe code. Let's talk about that part. Going from being an engineer to leading engineers, we saw that journey. But it's one of the hardest transitions in tech. This are you delegating enough? Are you not delegating enough? Right? And most people either never make it or make it badly. I've seen people switch back, forth, and some people decide, okay, I'll never do this. Some people become good at it, or some people just remain bad managers without knowing that they were bad. How did you personally make that shift? You said around Akamai time and between this. Was there a mentor for you? Did you read one or two books? Where when you were doing the switch, you said one of your mentors said, "I know you can do it."
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the first shift was more trust on my manager that he felt I can do it well.
Yeah.
But that has also been a very interesting learning. As you rightly mentioned, like everybody wants to be a good manager, right?
Yeah.
Like there's nobody you won't find a manager saying I want to be an evil manager or bad manager.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But you talk to the employees, that doesn't reflect.
Yes.
Like most of them or many of them would say I don't like my manager. So the gap is, I think, awareness, and that's a very important aspect of being manager or leader. So when my manager said, I think you will be able to do well, I didn't realize that then, but now I know it is not something, it's not so much about who somebody comes and say, oh, I want to be a manager, I will be really good at it.
Yeah.
And somebody says, no, I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Because both can be absolutely wrong. You can have a wrong conviction that you are good with people just because you can hang out with them and you are extrovert and then you feel, no, I can be a good manager, and an introvert person may feel, no, I'm not good with people. But what makes a good manager or a good leader is that awareness. And I think that's an important aspect, or that is an important learning for me. And coming to the how I made it, I think the second part is, I think I'm kind of a shameless copier, shameless at copying. So whoever I see does something really well, especially when in terms of how they solve complex problem, how they deliver, how do they manage their teams, etc. I just that's a really cool idea. Even today, the way I lead my tech lead sync up is exact copy of one of my managers or leaders, how he did it. I think height of shamelessly copying is it, like he used to do that on every Tuesday, and even I do it on Tuesday. It has just stuck.
That's not necessary.
Yeah, but the idea is some things you find great in some leaders, and you don't need to reinvent everything. Idea is to take some of the best things that others you like and admire. And over the time, you also build your own convictions and see what works and what doesn't work. It also depends on the context. I keep telling this to my managers or folks who, when they join, especially from large setup to small startups, ability to change the levels is very important in startups. In large organizations, when you are a manager or a senior manager, director or a VP, you are playing that role really effectively. You are really good at playing that role. Whereas in startups, while I'm maybe a CTO, on the same day I'm sitting and talking to a fresher and handling an incident, and later in the day I'm also talking to my founders and even investors. So my ability to play an engineer or an architect or a product manager and a CTO in a single day is way more important. Playing that role seamlessly. So a role of a leader or manager in different contexts is also very different.
Yeah. So we talked about learning from others. Um, what was, let's say, a failure that taught you, and your own failure, that taught you more than anything else?
You mean in the leadership?
Yeah, in this context.
Yeah. As I was mentioning, right, I think my OYO stint
Hmm.
was like the biggest learning. Like that what I had built deep conviction on, and what a great leader is, or how they should operate, what things they should focus on, all of that. Almost 90% of that was wrong.
In the new context.
In
that
the
you
new
were.
context. So I think that context matters a lot. Even situations, not just the larger context, even the situations
Yeah.
and daily instances also matter a lot.
Correct.
So I over the time I have come to realize that it's so much about situational leadership. You need to be like there is this good or bad thing that micromanagement is bad, delegation is better, and over the time I realized nothing is that it's not that way.
Yeah.
It's just what situation
Situation-based.
demand. If there is an incident going on, I need to micromanage it.
Yeah.
I need to take complete control. I need to make quick decisions. At the same time, I am grooming a new leader. I need to delegate a lot more and also sit back and observe.
Yeah.
There are also individuals who perform really well if you give them clear guidance, whereas some individuals operate really well in ambiguity.
Yeah.
So my role, or to be effective, it matters a lot if I'm able to get the context and situation and what works best in this particular case.
Got it. I often feel situational leadership is underrated.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should probably have a course or something. Cool. Okay. Tell me about one engineer where you hired, where the CV was average, interviews were okay, but you said there is something in this person. You made the call, and they turn out to be exceptional.
Yeah.
It happens to most people that I talk to. What did you actually see that others would have missed?
That is interesting, right? Especially in technology world, because you can gauge the skills. Typical interviews are, you do data structure algorithm, system design,
Yeah.
some situational questions, incident management, infrastructure. Like there's a fixed template, and you
Yeah.
can literally score them on like
You can
1
do
to
hard skill
5.
assessment. Yeah.
Very simple, straightforward. And that what that does is also you more often than not you're looking for a well-rounded engineer,
Yeah.
which is good thing in most of the cases. But at times some individuals may have massive spikes, whereas some other areas they may be average or below average.
Yeah.
And those also work. So this was, I think, the realization happened when I took a conviction call on one of the engineers who didn't even have a degree. And for a company like Akamai, all those things mattered. Like,
Yeah.
Are you from computer science background? Are you really good at DS, Algo, etc. But he was so passionate. He was coding from the age of 15 or 16,
Okay.
and ended up turning out to be one of my best app engineer, web engineer.
Okay.
That's when I realized there is also value, and even till day I look for spikes.
Okay.
While all other areas they can be average or above average, but do they bring something unique to table, and that really helps for innovation.
Yeah.
Because they can come up, they can surprise you in those special moments.
Yeah, a lot of times people have said, "Hey, the person should be raising bar, should be better than anybody I work with today, in one or two things." And then, sure, there are coachable gaps. I will coach them.
Absolutely. Only thing is these kind of individuals who has like massive spikes, but can be average or below average in some other areas. The leader's job becomes a lot more challenging. Because you need to now map their strengths with the opportunities and problem statements. If you put them in the wrong problem for the wrong problem, they are absolutely going to fail. Right? So it becomes that much more challenging. And that's extra work that you need to do. But if you do that, if you are able to do that, then you can have some spectacular results. And obviously, in some cases, it may fail badly as well. But that's a risk you take.
Cool. All right. Okay. Let's talk about the most underrated challenge of being a CTO that nobody talks about publicly. Again, no LinkedIn answer.
I think it's in product development. The building next new cool thing is always very exciting, right? But the grunt work required to make it like extremely reliable, which is you have well-defined services, you have great logging, you have great monitoring, you have alerts built on that whole observability stack, and the most difficult part, which is, can you build a culture where every engineer feels bang in his heart when there is an alert? That obsession to reliability of your product and service is a hard thing to build. But I feel that's a foundation on top of which you can do a lot of innovation. If that foundation is not there, most of the organization keeps struggling with the day-to-day basis challenges. So yeah, that I think nobody talks about, but any CTO you talk to, that is like the most important thing.
What have you done to sort of build that culture and foster the culture in your teams?
There are multiple things. One, it starts from what kind of individuals you get it. If that mindset is not there, not present itself, then it's very hard. Like, do you get that obsession or not? Are you obsessed about things or not? That's very important. Then the other thing is to make it part of the culture. You have to solve many small things. Only then it becomes like you have to lead by example. You have to start appreciating or first is prioritizing getting those things done, and even appreciating somebody does. Somebody went and cleaned up a lot of false positive alerts. That's a extremely non-glamorous work.
But helps everyone.
Yes, but helps everyone. Like acknowledging, and that's where your job as a leader comes in, like appreciating that. We also make sure even smallest of incident is discussed in the larger forum.
Very cool.
So it feels like a lot of time goes in that, especially in the initial stages. But over the time, everybody understands how serious it is. The level of questioning that goes into, oh, why did we not have alert for it? Or why did we have incorrect thresholds for it? Why was time to acknowledge was 8 minutes, not 3 minutes or 1 minute? Why did it take like 18 minutes to resolve the issue? Can we make it self-healing? All of those nuances when you discuss for every incident, you don't have to wait for hundreds of incidents to happen for everybody to learn.
Correct.
So that becomes part of the culture and DNA. And the leading by example yourself, like did you get on war room call every time there is an incident? That sets the expectation that everybody, this is extremely critical.
This is useful. Cool. Okay, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Python or Java?
Golang. It gives me best of both.
Cool. All right. So then tabs and no spaces automatically.
Tabs.
Okay. ChatGPT, Gemini, Anthropic, which or Claude?
Claude, I think
Mm.
I'm starting to love Claude.
Startup chaos or big tech stability? Not that I need that answer anymore.
Any day startup chaos. I think stability is slow death.
Okay. One app you use more than anything else outside of Pocket FM.
Now I think it's Claude.
Okay, cool. Worst career advice someone ever gave you?
Oh, like stick around, things will change.
Oh, okay. One thing today's 22-year-old engineers fundamentally don't understand yet.
I don't think it's about 22 years, but most of people get it wrong, which is ownership is way more important than your skills.
Okay. One company whose tech you secretly respect the most.
Not secretly, but I think a lot of us publicly will do that. In its days, I admired Sun Microsystems.
Yeah.
Today it is Google.
All right, cool. Last question. If your 2004 self, that nervous fresher walking into SLK software on day one, could somehow listen to this conversation today, what's that one line that you would want him to hear?
I think value problems that you are solving way more than the logos that you work for.
All right, cool. Very cool. Umesh, thank you so much. Very, very good chat. I learned a lot. I need to talk to you about rebuffering and caching on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks again, Umesh.
Thank you.